Friday, January 28th edition of the Carolina Weather Video here, and really a very nice, at least Saturday portion of our weekend coming up. Sunday still looks pretty good, but there'll be some clouds rolling in. But all in all, a milder stretch of weather here for the next few days before we trend back to kind of cooler and an unsettled looking pattern for next week. And there's still a lot of uncertainty with a lot of these specifics with next week's forecast. Let me get right into it here. And we'll begin with a look at the radar imagery this morning. And that precip you see showing up on the radar here is snow. Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, western parts of Virginia, and into some of the mountains of northwest North Carolina. There's some flakes flying, even though you don't see a whole lot there on the radar. For that reason, there's a winter weather advisory out for parts of Virginia and West Virginia, also right along the Ohio River. And really, I can't rule out a flurry over the next hour or two, so during the 6 or 7 o'clock hour, maybe a flurry or two up in the northwest Piedmont or the northern foothills. But this is a clipper, and the moisture very limited, not a very big deal once you get away from the mountains. Now here's the temperatures this morning. Kind of cool. We had some 20s and 30s across the region as a whole, but notice the milder air sitting back here. That's going to move in here for a couple days. Also notice pretty much the same temperature scheme in the northern plains as what we have here over much of our region. There are no big blasts of cold air heading down the chute for the next couple of days. Now there's plenty of cold air waiting up here in Canada, and we're going to see another big plunge of cold air moving back into the northern and central plain states early next week, and then that cold Arctic air will slowly bleed southeastward with time. Now again, the wind stream lines, so that's all out of the southwest here across the southern tier states, and that's going to bring in some milder air. There's our upper air chart today. One clipper swinging through that I showed you the result of on the radar. Another clipper entering the northern plains. That'll swing off to our north late tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now as we get toward Sunday morning, notice the GFS has a little disturbance. All the models have this entering the lower Mississippi Valley, but the general theme with that one is it's really going to dampen out as it approaches. So some clouds rolling in on Sunday. Maybe a few sprinkles or areas of light rain by Sunday night into Monday morning, but I still think we eke out a dry weekend forecast. Today, clouds around this morning, but I think we'll see some pretty good clearing for this afternoon, and it's going to be milder. Highs are going to get up into the 50s across much of the Piedmont this afternoon. Then a great-looking Saturday forecast. We'll see a lot of sun, highs well up into the 50s, even some folks maybe clipping 60 around the Sandhills and the maybe parts of the southern Piedmont. So great Saturday weather. Now on Sunday, that moisture begins to increase. We'll see some clouds streaming in. I think the GFS, you see it, this is the GFS valid for 7 o'clock Sunday evening, has a little bit of light precip from the upstate into the southern Piedmont. I've left Sunday's forecast dry, but I do think we'll see a pretty good amount of cloud cover rolling in as Sunday unfolds, and highs probably a few degrees cooler because of those arriving clouds on Sunday. Now notice, this is another big shot of cold air moving from Canada into parts of the northern and northeastern U.S. as well. So let's go 24 hours later, and that cold air just kind of slowly bleeding south. Now, this is the GFS Monday evening, and notice there's that high pressure moving into the Great Lakes, getting into cold air damming position. The models all indicate some degree of cold air damming as we get into early next week, and I'll step you through a couple of the other models here in just a second. This is the GFS Tuesday evening. And notice there, Monday and then Tuesday, I can't rule out a shower or two really at any point those 2 days. And this wedge will set up as a surface low takes shape off to our west. Now, the models have really been bouncing around the track this low will take. This is the 0Z run of the GFS. It takes it to the Ohio River by Wednesday early afternoon. Yesterday, the European model and the GFS all indicated a more suppressed track, something like that. Now there's been a northward adjustment once again in a good chunk of the modeling. Let me show you the Canadian solution. This is the surface low sitting right over Memphis here at Tuesday evening. And again, notice I didn't put the prior frames on here. There's still the remnants of cold air damming in place. You got a mega wedge here showing up on the European. Let me show you how this unfolds. This is 7 o'clock in the morning Monday. Notice it does bring some light precip in here Monday, Sunday night as well. Let's go now to Tuesday early afternoon, and man, that is a wedge and a half right there, plunging down the eastern side of the mountains. And I've kind of gone with that same general idea with my forecast. I've gone with a high for Greensboro Tuesday of 38, assuming this wedge does take hold. And then we get the main system pulling in on Wednesday, surface low up there near the Missouri-Illinois border region. Still the wedge trying to hold on here at 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, but the southerly flow eventually wins the battle with that strong surface low in many areas. So, what do you take from all of this? I think kind of a cool, cloudy period, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The core of the system could very well move through on Wednesday, but before that, I really can't rule out some precip at any point in time, Sunday night, Monday, or Tuesday. And we're going to have to watch those temperature trends as we get that wedge setting up. Any of the precip before the wedge gets scoured out, if it does, could involve some wintry type of precip, but it's just kind of a little far out there and a little too uncertain with the details to really have any significant confidence in any of that. But we'll watch that, of course, that early week period very closely, monitor for winter weather potential, and see how that wedge behaves, and also track the track of that surface low. That'll play a huge role. Finally, here's the GFS Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, and it brings one more little piece of energy through that kind of fires off a surface low. It's kind of alone with that solution, so I've kept the forecast dry Thursday and Friday. All right, so that's it for this Friday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.